I'm going to invite a guest speaker up. He's not going to be here for very long, but he's going to give you an insight into probably another life here in Tasmania. He's an exceptional young man, and I met this young man when he was 10. Over the last year, we've spent a considerable amount of time together and maintained contact almost on a daily basis. I'm very appreciative that he is here tonight, and his story should inspire every single person sitting at the back of this room. And I really would like you to heed his notes. Please welcome 17-year-old Will.
When we are young, we all have visions and dreams for our life. A professional sports star, to be a doctor, to become a lawyer, or even somebody who's going to change the world. Do you remember yours? Has it changed? If so, why has it changed and what changed? I have found that at the age of 10, our hopes and our dreams, they're all very similar. We all have high aspirations and we all strive towards something magical and special. When I was 10 years of age, I wanted to be a policeman. I wanted to carry a gun, turn the lights and sirens on, and be looked at upon my community as a hero. Our hopes and dreams, they were innocent, and they were very rarely affected by outside influences. But as we grow older, our hopes and all our dreams, they seem to change. They seem infected by our environment and circumstances. For an at-risk young people, having hopes and dreams seems like an impossible task. Research shows us that there were 49,180 young people who committed offences in the last year in our country alone. Of that number, 1 in 5 were charged with offences that intended to cause injury to another person. We know that in Tasmania alone, there were 906 young people in the last year that were actively committing offences across our state. But youth offending, it's really only one category that makes a youth at risk. When we take into consideration other at-risk negative behaviours, substance abuse, peer groups, home environments, lack of school attendance, bullying, and other mental health issues, it becomes clear that a risk at youth faces a high rate of losing all of their sights and their dreams. For me, I've just tried to remember when my dream of becoming a policeman faded, when my hopes and dreams were all stopped. I tried to remember when I became what we could all call an at-risk youth. I still remember me and my mum making tea together. We would sit down and drink tea upon hours and hours. When I was 10, my mum passed away. I soon became a ward of the state, and my new environment began to inflict my hopes and dreams. I remember the first time I stole something. I was an 11-year-old kid. I was walking through Woolworths. I was really hungry. I knew it was wrong, the thing to do, but I also knew I had to eat. I stole a steak from the meat section. I put it down my pants and walked out the shop in the most awkward of ways. 11 years of age was the first time I was sent to the youth detention centre. I remember the big door attached to the front fence. I was tiny and it was huge. I remember the first time sitting in a police cell by myself. I remember holding a 2-minute cup of noodles in my hand. I was tiny and it was huge. I remember the first smell in the Ashley Youth Detention Centre as I walked through the door. The smell of the kitchen was great. I remember that quickly left my mind as I stepped into my cell. I remember the first time the door closed behind me. This is a memory that stuck in my head. When I was 12, life just seemed to fall further and further down this negative and dangerous rabbit hole. At this age, I was set alight by a group of guys. I still have the burn marks on me. I still remember the flames on my chest. I remember waking up in hospital. I was admitted for 2 days. I remember I didn't have anyone visit, not even a support worker. I remember the first time I began my childhood substance abuse. No one said I shouldn't do it. In fact, I remember everyone telling me it would help. And it seemed like every normal thing that a teenager would do. And by the time I turned 16 years of age, I had been sent to the youth detention centre 26 times. I have had hundreds upon hundreds of court outcomes and was the worst possible version of myself. I spent my entire childhood locked up due to my actions and my decisions. I don't have positive memories I can reflect on. In 7 years, I only ever received social visits from one person while I was locked up, and that was Will. I missed out on my childhood. I didn't get to do what other kids got to do. I never even got to think about my hopes and dreams after I turned 10. When I was 10, I never wanted to be one of the worst youth offenders in our state. I never wanted to be involved in substance abuse, and I never wanted to be a bad person. I wanted to be a policeman. I am now 17 years of age. Since connecting with JCP Youth, I have just spent an entire year out of youth detention. I've held 2 jobs, currently working at McDonald's with food preparation. I have a stable accommodation, and for the first time since I was 10, I'm starting to see a positive future for me. I have life stories that you could never imagine. I could tell you things that happen in Tasmania that you would never believe. I've been the victim of a kidnapping, I've been beaten, I've been held at gunpoint, and I've seen some horrible things. But I'm not here for any sympathy or sorrow. I've done bad things. I've had a huge negative impact on this state. I'm not proud of what I've done, and I'm not proud of what I've put other people through. What I'm here for today is to provide an opportunity to inspire and empower young people to follow their hopes and dreams and not fall down that same rabbit hole that got me stuck. Today I have a message for the young people in this room. Don't underestimate the value of making one decision. Every decision that you make leads to an outcome. One decision, whether it is good or bad, leads down a good or bad path. Don't think that that decision you make in that difficult moment will not have an impact on your life. Do not forget that your environment and background do not dictate who you are and who you will become. For me, I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was doing was wrong. One day I made a decision just to stop. I could have made that decision earlier, yes, but I let myself believe I was a youth criminal and that I was worth less than everyone else. My environments and my backgrounds made me believe that I didn't have any leadership capabilities. JCP has taught you all you have potential to be leaders. Do not let your environments and your backgrounds change you from believing you are a leader. My last point is do not forget that you are important. You matter. Every action has an impact on someone else. The biggest thing I would change about my childhood is the negative impact I've had on other people. When I lost value within myself, I lost value in other people. Do not forget that you matter and you do have value. When you believe that, you will provide value to other people. Follow this advice, follow the advice of JCP, and you will achieve your hopes and your dreams. Have a think back to when you was a kid and the dreams that you had then. It may have been innocent, but whatever hopes and dreams were there, it's the start of becoming the best version of you that you can be. Thank you, guys.